Stop me if you've heard this before. Joey Bosa is hurt. The Clippers complete their starting lineup with a player targeted for trade. And a Dodgers coach gets an interview to manage Cleveland. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is October 21st, 2023. I am back on the road in Salt Lake City, completely exhausted. Don't let people fool you into thinking travel is something that's awesome. Honestly, it's not. I'm exhausted, and it's even worse because I have to travel to places like Salt Lake City, but so be it. If you like being in the know about LA sports, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment, because that's what keeps me sane while I live life out of places like a Motel 6. So, before we go through the news and notes, look at the scoreboard. Heartbreak up in Seattle. The OL Reign. They pushed across a goal in the 87th minute and eliminated Angel City FC in the first round of the NWSL playoffs. We'll talk a little bit more about Angel City in a few minutes. Meanwhile, busy slate today. I'm digging it. 14th ranked Utah leaves here to go to USC. 18th ranked Trojans at 5 o'clock. Can Caleb Williams rebound from that 3-interception disaster last week? Moreover, Zachariah Branch is scheduled to play. We also talked a little bit about it on Friday Night Chalk Talk, and we talked a lot about the UCLA defense on Friday Night Chalk Talk. The 25th ranked Bruins, they're up in Stanford at 7:30. We broke down, somebody, your boy here, finally took the time to break down how the UCLA Bruins play such efficient defense. Look for it on the UCLA playlist under Friday Night Chalk Talk. Boston is at the Kings at 7:30. FC Dallas is going to be in town to play the Galaxy at 6 o'clock. This is decision day over in MLS. Now look, the Galaxy, they've been eliminated, but two things. They haven't lost at home since May, and Ricky Puig is scheduled to play. Also, LAFC are closing out the season up in Vancouver at 6 o'clock. The Black and Gold are fighting for the second seed in the Western Conference playoff bracket, so plenty for them to play for. I am starting to believe Joey Bosa loves him some pain. You have to wonder, what is the over-under in terms of weeks until you find out that Joey Bosa's been hurt? Well, the answer in this case has been 3, because he told the Scribes yesterday that he broke a toe while playing in Week 3 at Minnesota. He missed 2 weeks. He missed 1 game, then a bye. And now he came back against Dallas on Monday night. He played a season-low 28 snaps. But hey, don't worry. Everything's fine. Quote, I just got to manage it, but it shouldn't be a problem anymore, unquote. This is a quote coming from a guy who has had a torn groin, 3 concussions, an ankle sprain, 2 foot bruises, a neck injury, hamstring strain, and a dislocated finger. Don't worry, guys. Everything's fine. I've totally achieved homeostasis. Everything's 100% good to go. Everything has happened to this dude other than having his limbs torn off by wild animals. But no, guys, believe him. He's good to go. No problems. And I hate saying that because, look, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's clearly talented, obviously. They basically tried to build the defense around him and Derwin James when they added all that talent a couple of years ago in free agency. They know what he means to the franchise. If it weren't for Justin Herbert, he'd be the face of the franchise. But this dude loves him some pain. Can we just get to the point? We all have our personal kinks. I can't show you the photos I have of me with my wife, right? But I do know that Joey Bosa loves him some pain. The Chargers are going to be playing over in Kansas City, which is a tough enough task as it is, even when Joey Bosa is actually being truthful about being 100%. Derwin James, a couple of days ago, the safety, was added to the team's injury report. It doesn't mean he's out, but you know who is out? His other safety, his running mate in the backfield, Alohi Gilman. He's definitely out. So we don't know if James is going to miss that game. But if he does, you're talking about trying to stop Patrick Mahomes without either safety in the defensive backfield. Oh boy, tough call. Tough call. Clippers coach Tyronn Lue has named Terrence Mann as the 5th starter in the Clippers lineup. He joins Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Ivica Zubac. And honestly, it's a smart choice because Mann is so doggone versatile. He can play point guard, he can play shooting guard, both forward positions. He has even played center in particular defensive matchups. So that type of versatility makes the Clippers a handful. I mean, we've talked a lot about all the good things the Lakers have done ever since the trade deadline of last season, but the versatility of the Clippers is what makes them such a handful. Lue said he'd be comfortable putting Mann up against guards such as Damian Lillard. He said he'd be totally comfortable putting Mann on defense up against big men such as Lauri Markkanen. But we can't get over the fact that every time we hear the latest in a litany of stories about James Harden trades, Terrence Mann is front and center. And the Clippers keep saying that they don't want to give Terrence Mann up in a trade package because he's one of the few younger players that they have. He's 27. He hasn't even reached his physical prime yet. But you can't get James Harden for nothing, right? You got to trade something to make something in this world. And trust me, I don't think James Harden is the answer either. But don't act like you could go out and get a surefire Hall of Famer by not trading away anyone in your starting lineup. That's ridiculous. Dodgers first base coach, Clayton McCullough, has interviewed with Cleveland about the vacant Guardians managerial opening. All things being equal, that's not a bad job to have. Not necessarily because the Guardians are better than the Dodgers, but Terry Francona led the former Indians, I should say, for 11 years, 11 before retiring. You want job stability, pack your bags and move to the Mistake by the Lake. McCullough was drafted as a catcher, by the way, by Cleveland back in 2002. So there might be some mutual interest there for obvious reasons. He was previously interviewed to be the Mets manager, lost out to Buck Showalter. Max Muncy, though, said something amazing. I don't know if it's literally the quote, quiet part out loud, as people like to say, but he told a YouTube channel called Foul Territory that the Dodgers being patient at the plate is great during the regular season. Absolutely awesome approach during the regular season, but quote, in terms of chase rate outside the strike zone, we were like the first or second best, but the two teams that made the World Series were like the first or second worst at chase rate. They're going up there and getting their swings off, whereas we're being too disciplined, unquote. In other words, what he's saying is the Dodgers in the playoffs are facing pretty much elite pitching across the board, right? You go out in the regular season, you're playing in Colorado, you can afford to be patient and wait for your pitch. You can't necessarily do that in the playoffs. You got to go and take a couple of risks. You have to change your approach. Now, my question for you, particularly if you played ball at any level above Little League, high school, college, etc., if you were a high school player on up where you actually had coaching of some sort, is he right? Is it possible that the Dodgers' revered patience, their plate discipline, which is amazing during the playoffs, costs them during the postseason? I do know when you look at the Dodgers' postseason run, something has to change. Do they have to be more aggressive? Do they have to throw caution to the wind like that? And if you throw caution to the wind, is it taking swings at pitches that you wouldn't normally do? Just wondering. ESPN is claiming that the 5th spot in the Lakers lineup is up for grabs. I don't buy that. Darvin Ham said he made his choice. He just wanted to keep it to himself because, plot twists, drama, I guess. But I admit the whole story is a little weird. Now, ESPN speculates that the Lakers will not be going with 2 centers. This is something that we've talked about previously. How even though the Lakers now have backup centers, that they don't want to go with a too big lineup and pull Anthony Davis away from the 5, even though Anthony Davis doesn't like playing center a lot. If that is the case, that they're not going with 2 centers, that leaves Jared Vanderbilt, Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura. If you want a quick breakdown, Vanderbilt, all defense, which Darvin Ham loves. Taurean Prince is a newcomer. Ham describes him as the versatile, ideal 3-and-D guy. And Hachimura, he went on a remarkable roll during the playoffs last year. Remarkable run. So all 3 of them have pluses to land that starting gig. Rams cornerback Darian Kendrick says he expects to play Sunday in Pittsburgh, even if he's wearing an ankle monitor. He was arrested last weekend, by the way, after the Rams beat Arizona. We had talked about that. He's now facing 2 misdemeanor gun charges. Kendrick said he apologized to the team for being such a distraction. Sean McVay said he does not expect the NFL to punish Kendrick for being arrested. And you can kind of see the point. It's not like he was acting like John Morant or going, Yosemite Sam, shooting the thing everywhere. He just had it in his passenger. Well, allegedly had it in his car. I don't know if that's going to win over the NFL, but it is a fair point to make. Angel City FC, as we talked about earlier, reached the playoffs last night. And they had a remarkable run, frankly, because they did it with an interim manager, Becky Tweed. Angel City lost 3 of their first 4 matches. They finally had enough of the first manager that they ever had, told her to hit the bricks. They brought in Tweed. Tweed basically put everything up for competition, said, we're not here, we don't care about your reputation. Everybody's going to have to fight for a spot. She apparently has great communication skills because for whatever reason, that message resonated with the roster from top to bottom. Every practice turned up the intensity. They grew closer as a team through the competition. That's the way some people operate. Others don't. It definitely worked for Angel City. But Tweed, despite getting Angel City to their first ever playoff berth, hasn't been offered the full-time gig yet. She's still interim. She's not commenting on whether that tag should be removed from her title. According to the LA Times, Tweed was told that the goal was to make the playoffs, which she did. I'm not necessarily saying that she is the female soccer equivalent of Phil Jackson, but that's a remarkable run, and you might want to reward her for it. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me if you are a Chargers fan who is deathly concerned about going into Kansas City without 2 safeties and with a limping Joey Bosa. Talk to me if you think the Clippers lineup is going to be without Terrence Mann in the course of a James Harden trade. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We will be back possibly tonight with a Galaxy Rapid recap. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.